Nestled on the North Norfolk coast, between Hunstanton and Cromer, Wells next to sea is the sort of place I think of when I hear the phrase location, location, location. The countryside, landscape and the built environment all compete together to grab your attention. The feeling of anticipation building more and more the nearer you get. When in Wells, all thoughts of work, materialism and your future simply disappear into the ether, to be replaced by just one simple thing: the now. It's difficult, if not impossible, to explain what it is that makes this place feel so special. If you examine its individual elements, it would sound like hundreds of other British coastal towns and resorts. And yet, somehow, at this quay, the sum of all the parts equal more than the whole. I've been to many harbours around the east and southeast of the country, and when the tide goes out, a lot of mud, and it's not pretty. It's got its own charm, but here, this sand is just pristine, and it looks kind of like a lunar landscape. I often find myself wondering whether I love this place more when the tide is in or when it's totally out. But the thing I've come to realise is that I love it because the view is constantly refreshing as the water floods and ebbs. I found this campsite when I was walking down the path alongside the harbour, and I was up on the high bit on the bank, and I looked over the fields and I saw some caravans and motorhomes, and I thought, I didn't know that was there. I've got to say, this is one of the nicest campsites I've been on, and I've been living in the motorhome full time now for getting on for 17 months. It's just a brilliant location, and the facilities are amazing. This is a really great base to explore Wells from. It's just a short walk, less than 10 minutes through the woods that gave the campsite its name, and you're on one of the best beaches in the whole of Norfolk. Now, I'm not really a sit on the beach all day kind of guy, but if that is the sort of thing you like to do, then here, if you fancy getting one of these beach huts as a base, the campsite has 6 of them that they rent out for £65 a day. I can't guarantee they will be as beautiful as these ones, but let's face it, there aren't any ugly ones here. The new lifeboat station that was completed in 2022 is open to the public. There's volunteers in there, and you can go in there, you can look around, you can see the lifeboat and the station, and they'll talk to you about the roles of the crew and the station staff. And every 2 weeks or so, they carry out practice drills to keep themselves on their toes. This is one of, I think, 3 charter boats that offer fishing trips from the harbour. These fishermen are just coming back in. They've probably been out for a good few hours. They look happy. And they all have drones. I don't know who the lady is. I imagine she's the skipper's partner. But she loves drones as well. Everybody loves drones. Well, perhaps not everybody. Once you've had your fill of the beach, maybe stopped up at a little cafe, it's worth popping up into town. You can either walk up there, it's about 20 minutes, or take your car. I like to park at Buttlands. Buttlands is a great place to park because there's a couple of great pubs there that do good food, and you can normally park there for free. It's a great spot. You can park there, have a little wander down the high street and back up, and then have a bite to eat. The town shows no sign of corporations or their ladders. There's no egos on display and no monopolies exist. This town is a self-leveler. Everybody's equal, just independent individuals sharing a simple intrinsic enjoyment. I filmed this very early in the morning, that's why there's not many people around, but it gets quite busy here, especially in the summer months, but there's always a great atmosphere. And there's some lovely little individual independent shops that just sell stuff that's different or offer services that are different from what you normally find. As we come down here, just on the left, there's a place called Sampfer and Saltmarsh. It's a gallery, but they're different. The chap who manages it is his son-in-law and daughter are photographers, and they go out and they take photos around the local area, but they don't print them out in a normal way. They actually print them onto aluminium sheets, So you can put a frame around it, but you don't need any glass, and it really has a completely different effect, visual effect from what you'd normally see. This butcher's as well is different in that, yeah, they sell high quality meat and all the things you'd usually expect, but in addition to that, they sell animal hides. You can see them here out the front of the shop, and that's not something you see every day. Wells, next to sea, is not a massive town. There's plenty to do there, and you can easily spend a few days. But if you find yourself feeling the need to go on an excursion somewhere to experience something different, there's a multitude of places you can go around here, all within easy driving distance, some within easy walking distance. We're heading towards Blakeney Point. Blakeney Point's a spit of land that, sort of like a finger, that protrudes out into the sea, and it's home to the largest colony of grey seals in the UK.
So I'm going to come back to you in 5 minutes when we get out into the harbour, tell you a bit about the geography of the place, when you can see what I'm talking about, and have a trip, everybody. Enjoy yourself. Thank you.
I got chatting to this skipper. He really was a lovely man. He's 75 years old, and he started working on the seal trips when he was aged 9. What this bloke doesn't know about these local waters and the wildlife in it is just not worth knowing. I really enjoyed chatting to him and his mate. This is a lovely way of spending an hour or two. You can walk around these grounds even if it's been raining for weeks. There's really well made pathways, so it's great. If the weather's not been brilliant, you can always go for a walk here. You can rent a bike, cycle around, or bring your own bike. It's a really nice environment to spend a bit of time in. Holkham Hall is a stately home, renowned for a very fine art collection and some very beautiful rooms, especially the marble hallway. That's incredible. So as we cross this main road, the 149 Coast Road, we head towards Holkam Beach, which again is definitely one of the top 3 beaches in Norfolk, if not the top 1. It's an unusual beach because it's made up of salt marsh, which creates a wonderful habitat for various types of plants and fauna, and also wildfowl. You saw the wetlands coming up this road, and that combined with these salt marshes make it a very unique habitat for wildlife.